Hello and welcome to Roger's Blue Suede News. Happy New Year to you, and I'm only saying that because I haven't taken it out of the script since the show last week, which was the New Year's Day special. We will be reviewing the good, the bad, and the utterly stupid of the last 7 days. Without wasting any more time, I will introduce you to our guests. We have Katie Brown, Tony Cowards, and Josh Reynolds. Good evening to you all. I'm going to ask each of you to introduce yourselves properly, so we'll start with Katie first.
Hi, I'm Katie. I am a stand-up comedian and well, I'm not really that anymore because I'm sitting down. And I'm here because I've got nothing else to do on a Friday night in lockdown.
Thank you very much, Katie. Let's go to Josh Reynolds.
Hey, yes, I'm a relatively new act. I started out doing comedy maybe like December before lockdown, so timing's everything, obviously, with comedy. But yeah, I've met Roger a few times at the Derby's Writers Club, and I'm here to win. This is not a fun thing for me. I'm here for one reason, and that's it. Take all the points.
We don't do points on this show, though, Josh, because points on this show mean...
Don't care. Still going for it.
Okay, Tony, can you introduce yourselves, please?
Yep. Hello, I'm Tony Cowards. I'm a stand-up comedian as well, a comedy writer, amongst other things to get me through lockdown. But yeah, I'm looking tonight, obviously.
Not going to happen.
And to everybody who's joined and watching us, please say hello. We have George appearing in the time. We will discuss your stories as well as the ones we've brought to the programme. All right, so without wasting any more time, let's go into the first round.
What's the story? Morning Glory.
Our first story, or our main story of the week, has got to be lockdown. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm sick of COVID, and I'm sick of lockdown, and this is the third lockdown, and once you get past, the main film and you're onto the sequels, I'm sure you start losing interest in that film, and it's same with COVID. I'm losing interest in it. I mean, this sequel is called COVID-19B, the variant. So I was just wondering if our guests have any suggestions as to how we can make this lockdown more bearable. So let's go to Tony first, see if he's got any suggestions.
I don't know if this is a good suggestion, but if you're like me, I've basically been spending lockdown continuously eating and drinking as much as I possibly can. We've still got quite a lot of Christmas food, and I love Christmas food. So we've got Christmas cake and mince pies left over. So I've been spending lockdown shoving as many of them in my mouth as I can. Really? I don't know if it's the most healthy way to get through lockdown, but it's working so far.
So you're not sticking to any New Year resolution about eating less or anything like that. You've just gone straight for the cake.
Yeah. No, finish off all the diet can start once the Christmas cake is finished.
So let's go to Josh.
I'll be honest, I'm the opposite of Tony. I want to get out and exercise now. I've done my week of eating absolute garbage. And and now it's like snow and ice as well. I can't even go out and run. So there's that double quandary there. So you can't even do any exercise. So I don't know why I'm not just doing what Tony does and just eating loads. Instead, I'm starving myself and still getting bigger. But yeah, it's...
So let's go to Katie. We've had Tony stuffing his face. We've got Josh exercising. Which ones of those are you interested in? Have you got any other suggestions?
No, I stuff my face all year round, so I don't wait till Christmas to tell me that I'm allowed to be a pig. I go for it whenever I want. I really like lockdown. It's controversial, I know, but I love not having to wear a bra. I love not having to get dressed. I love everything about it. I love that my day job starts when I wake up rather than after a 30-mile drive to get there. And I'm just happy, lovely. So just embrace it. Embrace lockdown. It's great. You don't
Well,
have
that's
to.
fantastic.
You don't
shouldn't be
have
embracing anyone, though, should you? Don't embrace anything.
to. Well, not like physically. No, don't embrace
Yeah.
people. Don't embrace people.
Yeah.
2 meters
Uh,
away.
I've made a New Year's resolution to be negative this year. You know, negative on any test for COVID I have.
I had COVID in May time, and I'm sort of still not quite over it yet. But I do feel like I'm immune now, so I feel like I can just go where I want because I'm not going to get it again. And I know that's probably not right, but it's nice to have that sense of superiority over anybody who hasn't had it yet.
You're basically
Yeah,
a
but you
superhero now, Katie. You're a
Pardon?
superhero. You're a superhero now, Katie. You're immune to it.
You can actually get it again.
Yeah, I'm sure you can, but I mean, I don't go anywhere anyway. So it's not affecting me the slightest. All it's done is meant that I don't have to go and see people that I don't want to go and see, out of a state of some kind of loyalty to family.
So, anyway, we've had another viewer comment. It's from Brian Slack saying hello. Hello, Brian. Lovely of you to join us. So, right. So, I mean, I've not got much else to say on COVID. I found everything you were saying was brilliant. So,
I've got one more positive thing about COVID. Breaking news, right?
Go for it.
So I follow a football team in the 7th division, right? They're called Stafford Rangers. Barely anyone's heard of them. And we are truly rubbish, right? Every league, non-elite, has just been made null and void, which means for the second consecutive season, we've escaped relegation. So we are, honestly, I don't want lockdown 3, but at the same time, I don't want us to lose our best player. So I'm slightly torn on that.
Well, it can't go anywhere because of lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But it basically means we can't get relegated. It's brilliant. Like, you know, we get to stay in the same division despite not having won a game since, I would like to say, probably like June 2019. So, times.
I did read today another positive about coronavirus and lockdowns and everything. Is that last year apparently crime was down 12%. So,
and do you know something else? Has anybody had a cold?
I've
not had one, and I don't know anybody that's had a cold in the last year.
I was
a bit sneezy, and our cat got cat flu, but I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, but they're allowed to go out gallivanting, aren't they? They're not quite so good at social distance.
That's true. Yeah, we're not very good at locking down the cats.
Shall we move off COVID onto our next round?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Faking it.
In this round, I'll present each of you in turn with a news story. What you have to work out is whether I've made it up or it is in fact a factual story. So you're looking for fact or fake news. Who shall we go to first for the first story? I think I'll do this one for Katie. A mountain in Antarctica has been named in honour of Nick Cox from Kendal in Cumbria. Nick Cox has had jobs including carpentry and driving dog sleds.
What is that? It?
That's it.
Okay.
Has Nick Cox from Kendal in Cumbria had a mountain in Antarctica named after him?
What have they named the mountain?
They've named the mountain Mount Cox. It's 9,700 feet high, and it's on the western edge of Antarctica.
Okay, no, I don't think that's true because I think it would have been more specific number than 9,700 feet.
Okay, so you're saying it's fake news.
Yes, fake news.
Shall we see whether you're right or not? It is a fact. Mount Cox has been named after Nick Cox, who works for the British Antarctic Survey and has done for a number of years. and he does carpentry and drives dog sleds as part of his job for the British Antarctic Survey.
I mean,
I
if
mean-
you've got to go there, it's like, wait, where are you off, Sue? Oh, I'm just off to Mount Cox.
So, yeah,
Well,
I don't think
I know.
I don't think anyone has noticed that someone will be laughing because they've managed to name a mountain an elaborate Cox joke.
It's amazing, isn't it? And I can't believe I just said Sue because that's my mum's name. So my mum's gone to Mount Cox. I don't know when she'll be back.
To be
I mean-
fair, not a lot of people are going to go there, are they? So
No. Whose right is it to name a mountain after it anyway? Because I can go on Groupon and I get targeted with like buy a star, like name that after yourself. Like, has he not just bought it for 25 quid off Wish.com? I don't know.
Yeah, but can you
Now,
just
if you
imagine?
buy a mountain off Wish.com, you're going to end up with like a little bump.
But a mountain, a big pointy tall thing, and they call it a Cox.
It just, it wasn't very well thought. Maybe it means something else in another language. That's normally how it works. Or it's just scientists being funny. Fun guys, those scientists.
Okay,
Often known for their banter.
Wacky.
where shall we go next?
Mount
See,
Cox.
we've done the Cox jokes.
Yeah,
Well, we'll go to Tony, I think, next.
oh,
Okay.
this one's going to be River Flange.
Following the sad passing of Jerry Marsden, the lead singer of Jerry and the Pacemakers, it was revealed this week that the hit song "I Like It" was about his brother's love of Smarties. Every time his brother ate one of the little sugar-coated chocolates, he'd shout, "I like it!" And Jerry initially wrote the chorus to mock his brother's love of the chocolates.
okay. And because Jerry, what was it? Jerry and the Pacemakers. Was that his band?
That was his band, Jerry and the Pacemakers. Yes.
Maybe they were named that because of he needed a pacemaker because he was eating too much sugar or something. I don't know. That sounds ridiculously unbelievable. So I'm going to say it's true.
You're going to say it's true. Shall we see whether you're right or not? I made that one up.
Oh man,
Should have gone with the
Oddly-
more averages,
we're
Tony.
not doing well here, are we?
Oddly, Jerry does have a brother who played in Jerry and the Pacemakers as well, right? And the original name of the group was Jerry and the Mars Bars. They were forced to change their name when Mars Confectionery complained to the record company that they didn't like them using the word Mars Bars in the band name. So they changed the name to Jerry and the Pacemakers. That bit's true.
They never stopped the Drifters, did it?
Yeah. Well, I say that bit's true. It might have been. I mean, that bit about being Mars bars. I've seen it on a couple of sources, so I'm sure it is true. But it sounds like something's made up by a PR company, doesn't it?
I thought you said you've seen it on a couple of sources.
No.
Roger started reading tea leaves now.
Yeah,
That's what
I
he's
think
been
with some of
trained
the-
as in lockdown.
I think with some of these, I need to start taking something to come up with more ridiculous stories than the real ones. Right. So the third story is for Josh.
Okay.
Are you ready, Josh?
Born ready.
Do you know a lot about trains?
I know a lot about HS2, but that's about it.
The oldest trains on the UK rail network were finally withdrawn from service last Sunday. The former underground trains, dating from 1938, have been providing regular rail services on the Isle of Wight, but they have been retired from service and are being replaced with a fleet of refurbished underground trains.
Okay. It sounds too boring to be false. It is my first thing. Like, you know, we have Mars bars, we have Mount Cox, like, well, and I get disused train services. So I'm going true.
You're going true. You're saying it's a
Yeah,
fact.
I don't think you could have made that up, Roger. It's too boring.
It is a fact.
Well done,
We're
Josh.
on.
Well done. Well done. So I'm not going to give you any points because in this show, points mean
Solo!
Okay, going for it.
It's interesting. Well, I say interesting because about trains are rarely that interesting. But I think the Isle of Wight wasn't the Isle of Wight and the trains there the inspiration for Thomas the Tank Engine.
I've got
Was
no
it?
idea.
Probably
I
not
find-
that one.
I
Not
find
that-
that
yeah.
quite interesting.
Yeah, I might have
So,
just. That might be absolute rubbish. I might just make that up.
I mean, I
Well,
thought
I'm
it was the
not-
Isle of Man, but
I'm not
Well,
going to
if
fact
not-
check it.
You've set him up next week anyway if he's running
Yeah, yeah.
short.
Yeah, I'll look at that. If you're wrong, if I look that up and you're wrong, Tony, next time you're on my show, I will give you an honorary fake news stamp.
Fake news. Fake news. Yeah. Why?
So,
do we know why the Isle of Wight were using? Why are they using underground trains? Because presumably they haven't got an underground. Are they?
Well, they were using these trains. They haven't been using them since 1938. From 1938, they've been used on the Bakerloo line in London. They went to the Isle of Wight in 1989, and the reason why they went to the Isle of Wight is because between the trains actually run over to the end of the pier in Ryde. Right, it's almost comical that these are the only underground trains that run out over the sea. So, but between the pier head and one of the stations, there is a tunnel, and they were having problems with flooding in the tunnel. They had to raise the floor of the tunnel so normal trains wouldn't fit through the tunnel. So it's either not run trains anymore out to the pier, or solve the problem by putting underground trains on, which are a lot lower.
I think we've lost Katie. By the way, Katie's drifting off.
So I don't know if we'll attract any train enthusiasts, but anyway, that's the truth. That's what I found out when I saw that story on the BBC website. So
that was fucking banging. That was, Roger.
Yeah, we're all learning. We're all learning.
I'd just like to say it's not like the Isle of Wight to be like 50 years behind everything else as well, is it?
Racism.
Yeah, sorry. Oh no, I'll have the Isle of Wight on my back now.
Oh no!
have you been to the Isle of Wight?
I've gigged several times in the Isle of Wight, and it's always been
Can't
lovely.
go there now. Are they? They're like COVID free, aren't they? Are they the only ones in tier one?
No, definitely not. Definitely
Oh,
not.
no.
In
it
yeah.
get over
Silly, wasn't it?
They were in tier 1 and went straight from tier 1 to tier 3.
Oh.
And then straight from tier 3 to lockdown.
That's what happened to us. But we were in tier 2, and then we did one day in tier 3, and then Boris went, no. You need to be locked up proper. So then we went in tier 4, and then lockdown.
Shall we play the next round?
Yeah.
Prat of the week.
Each of my guests have nominated a Prat of the Week. So what I'll do is we'll get the first nomination up. And why is that not working? Because you're still all appearing on my screen.
Oh, I love it when it all goes well.
There we go. Okay, so I'm going to introduce the first Prat of the Week, and then you'll know who nominated first. So this is the first Prat of the Week. His name is Jake Angeli, I think. Or it could be Angeli, depending on how you pronounce it. If anyone wants to help me with that, you can do. This Prat of the Week was nominated by Josh.
Yeah.
So Josh, your 45 seconds starts now.
So first of all, this is not Jamiroquai. So just anyone can throw that out your books. And secondly, I'm kind of aware that he represents kind of a wider group of Prats, but you know, he first broke the first rule of kind of any sort of revolt, which was to go undercover, innit? If you're going to break a crime, you got to be discreet. And then this guy turns up with horns, fur, and touchscreen gloves as well, so we can access his smartphone and check the news every time he's going in breaking revolutions. So, and it's just nonsense, and he's breaking everything that he pretends he stands for. Freedom, as long as it's what we agree with. So that's why him being the bastion of this whole community is Prat of the Week.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So that's brilliant, and I actually think I actually gave you.
Is that the other point?
I just think it's nice
coming for me.
I just think it's nice that the village people have found something to do in their retirement.
I want to know what's his tattoo thing on his stomach there? Is it
an anchor?
It's a bell end, isn't it?
It's the world's most inconvenient butt plug.
It's one of those smushy things that chops you up.
Right.
Fair enough.
Some sort of axe.
Yeah. It was obviously when he got dressed in that morning, he was feeling horny.
Funny enough, with all the Trump supporters, I saw that actually the guy Chris Pratt that plays he's in the Jurassic Park movies and he's a mad Trumper, isn't he? I think. I don't mean he farts. So he's kind of literally Chris Pratt of the Week, isn't he? Yeah. So you can join your guy here.
Right. Anyway, thank you for that, Josh. That was superb. Let's move on to the next Pratt of the Week. So who's it going to be? Oh, it's a bit of mystery. I thought I'd do this one a bit like the Masked Singer. Right? Their identity is currently covered. Shall we take it off? Let's take it off.
Off. Oh, look at that.
The next Pratt of the Week is Katie Brown.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I've got to say, this is a bit of a first. It's the first time on this show we've had someone nominate themselves as Pratt of the Week. So here's your 45 seconds to explain why, Katie, starting now.
Thanks, because that picture doesn't say it all, really. So basically, I offered to make face masks for the staff at my son's school, thinking I might have to make about 20. And they emailed me back and said, no, we've got 70 people that work here. So now I've lost my weekend to making 70 face masks. They are good, though. They are Wonder Woman. But yeah, that's why I'm Pratt of the Week, because my generosity of spirit has lost me an entire weekend of my life. That's it, really.
But
that's
the schools are closed, aren't they? Or
You're sorry?
Are the schools still open? Or
Yeah, school. Well, they're only for key worker children. So my thing is that I think that the teachers and everyone have sort of been a little bit forgotten through the whole COVID thing. And they've not really had any time off. And I'm going to carry on because this isn't why I'm a Pratt. They haven't really had any time off. They haven't really had any time to rest. And now they're back doing it again. They're getting a lot of complaints and a lot of pressure. And they're just trying to do a job that they love in conditions that they had no idea about. So I just wanted to do something nice for them. But I didn't quite realise that there were 50 more than I thought.
You see, that's one of the problems, because I sometimes think teachers don't live in the real world, right? They won't appreciate that you're expecting maybe 20 masks maximum, right? And they don't live in the real world, because I swear when they ask parents to volunteer for things, they think all parents do is when they've taken their children to school is go home and sit down and do no. And they also think that when they pick the children up at night, they just take the children home and lock them in the bedroom, right? But instead, they have to sort them out. They have to feed them.
Well, we have to parent. There is that. We do have to keep the offspring that we bred alive. The thing is, though, with teachers, we tend to just assume that they do their hours and then swan off at 3 o'clock, and we don't see them till the next morning, and then they get all those loads of holidays to jolly about. And I know a few teachers, and I do know they do at least 60-hour weeks and more, and their time is never their own, and that's why nearly all the teachers that you know of have buggered off to do stand-up comedy because they get a bit more time off.
Yeah. There you go. We've given a balanced argument from both sides of the story there. So thank you very much for that.
They're either doing stand-up comedy or they're alcoholics or both.
Or both, yeah.
Let's see what the third Prat of the Week is. And it doesn't take much working out that this was nominated by Tony. So let's view the third Prat. This is David Brown. And I'll let Tony explain in 45 seconds why he's nominated David Brown.
Well, this guy, I think this is brilliant because as comedians, we're all doing stuff on Zoom nowadays, and Zoom has become such a big thing. But this guy is David Brown, who's a councillor for Boston Council, I think, in Lincolnshire. And he was actually convicted for conducting a Zoom council meeting whilst driving a lorry. Which is taking multitasking slightly too. I know it's called Zoom, but you probably shouldn't be zooming down the A10. And he was. What was brilliant though was that he obviously didn't realise, or he just didn't think he'd get caught. But the council meeting was being live streamed on the council's YouTube channel, so everyone could see. So he kind of like provided all the evidence that the police needed for what he was doing.
Yeah. The thing is, I read a bit of the story as well, and it wasn't just any old meeting. It was the cabinet meeting, which are broadcast live on the council's YouTube channel.
What would have been great?
So he joined a meeting for 20 minutes, which was broadcast live on the council YouTube channel, and he's a councillor, and he was driving a lorry.
What would have been great would have been if it was a council meeting about road safety, wouldn't it?
The biggest question I've got, though, is he any relation of Katie's?
Yeah.
Oh, if you're going to say that about everybody with the last name Brown, I've got quite a large family.
What's worrying though is that his eyes are firmly on the Zoom as well, so he's like purely giving the audience his time.
Well, he's obviously in a big vehicle, so it's no problem for him crashing into people.
The thing is, he should have just claimed it was all green screen, shouldn't he? When he got convicted and he just sat in his living room, he's just pretending to talk to a lot of people.
It's the council; they don't know what a green screen is.
Yeah, they think it's something environmentally friendly.
They've not figured out how to get library books on their Zoom meetings, have they?
Right, so we've had our 3 nominations of Prat of the Week. We've had Jake Angeli, we've had Katie Brown, and we've had David Brown. Who's the biggest Prat of the Week? Just, if I was nominating this on looks, it'd be Jake.
I was going to say it's a close call, isn't it, really? Just fucking about with balloons on.
Doing it on looks. The guy tried to break down democracy.
Yeah, I didn't try to do that with my balloons. I just sang a sexy song and popped them.
Yeah, but Josh, you're saying he tried to break down democracy. What did the president do?
He told him to do it.
Yeah, but you can't do Trump because Trump's boring. There's hundreds of Trump material, so I was original and picked the next one.
Right.
Right.
Now, Katie.
Yeah.
Yes, what you've done, it makes you feel a bit of a prat because you didn't realise how much work you're going to give yourself and you've lost your weekend.
Work.
And I think that's punishment enough. However, what you've fallen into is the typical teacher, oh, I just need someone to do this for me trap. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you've been a bit prattish, but have you been the prat of the week? Whereas a councillor who drives a lorry for 20 minutes, well, on a cabinet meeting that's broadcast live on YouTube, I think I'm going to award Prat of the Week as David Brown and Tony Cowards. Well done,
It's all right.
Tony.
We're keeping it in the family. That's all right.
Proud to be Pratt of the Week.
He didn't overthrow the whole council, mate. That's all I'm saying. But yeah.
So thank you all for your contributions this week. That was utterly amazing. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pop to the comments.
I'm going to say pop to the toilet.
No, I should. No, I'll wait till the end of the show. So I have a bucket below my desk.
Oh, that's what that look is on your face.
Yeah, when I'm going. Actually, it's. There we go.
Oh, amazing. Yeah.
So
I still can't hear me in that.
I think I'm going to be using that. I'll tell you what, if anyone's got anything soft and cuddly near them, you can squeeze it. I've still got my sock puppet.
Oh, I've got rid of me gnomes.
And while we're doing this, can I just ask my viewers, if you want to suggest news stories, this is the part of the show where it's good to suggest news stories. I'm just going to look at some of the comments we've had because we've not looked at them most of the show. So we've had Alexandra Krekan commenting.
Hello.
It's looking good. Everybody like the lipstick, Katie, she says.
Thanks, Alex.
George Coppins prefers my lipstick. Cheeky sod.
Has he got a camera under your desk, Roger?
No. I'm not going any further on that one.
It's always my favourite thing to try and embarrass you. It's amazing.
So we've had
Roger,
Brian's.
go red.
We've had Brian saying I can make myself go red quite easily actually, because if I just change my light settings to that one, I go quite red.
Oh, that's Santa red. That is. That's
And I can go bit lighter and back to what I was on before. So
That's
anyway,
lumberjack red.
Brian has said is going back to when we were talking about not getting a cold, and he says it's the first time in years he hasn't had a cold. And Ishi, I believe, is following on from the same theme. So apparently the train which I put on the screen matches my shirt. So was the story that boring? Now you're actually looking at the picture and seeing whether it matched my shirt. You're doing fashion.
I can't even remember the story. I've blocked that out. I'm not sure what it was.
For a little while.
Oh.
So, what's Brian? Brian's referring to your balloon dancers.
Okay. What's okay?
Apparently, he likes the over-the-top balloon dancers. So, you need to get yourself along to one of Katie's shows, Brian.
Just have a look on my YouTube. It's all on there. Katie does comedy. Have a crack. Enjoy. It's all shit, but it might make you laugh.
George says, why did Katie need to give an explanation? Surely she wins anyway.
Always, George.
Oh.
True.
So, and Alex Liam says, Katie, was that picture taken during your routine where you left the stage a lot wetter than when you started?
No, that one was when I was dressed as a balloon version of Stay Puft the Marshmallow Man, and that was a different show.
Ishi says, good nominations, guys.
Thanks, Fishy.
And
Thanks.
George says, yeah, please don't go any further on that, Roger. Should that be me saying that to George?
I still can't hear me in that. I think you made that up.
Anyway, that's the comments done. Anyone watching, please suggest any news stories you want us to cover. Let's move on to our next round.
The good, the bad, and the utterly stupid.
So this is the round where we just discuss topical news stories from the week. I have set up some already, so let's go to the first one. This is the story about, and I'm going to get rid of George's comment because he seems to have got stuck on the screen. This is the story about on Sunday, apparently, it was safe to have the schools opening on the Monday morning. By Monday evening, it wasn't. And before I start you off on this, I'll just read you a bit of Boris speak
Oh, goody.
and translate that for you before you jump on this subject. So the Boris speak is, I want to stress that the problem is not that schools are unsafe for children. Children are still very unlikely to be severely affected by even the new variant of COVID. The problem is that schools may nonetheless act as vectors for transmission, causing the virus to spread between households. So I'll translate that for you. He's saying schools are safe. Well, they are buildings and therefore don't catch COVID. So they are perfectly safe. The schools are safe. It's the people in the schools who spread COVID, and therefore they're unsafe.
The man's a genius.
That was the hospitality industry as well, wasn't it, and everything else. So,
All right, let's go to Tony first. Have you got any views on this, Tony?
It's just typical nonsense, isn't it, from Boris? What can you say? It's like, like you said, he seemed to be implying that the schools themselves were safe. It's just the fact that people have to go in and out of schools that makes them dangerous, which is kind of the same as every other building in the entire world, isn't it? Like,
definitely.
Keep the schools open, but don't let the children in them. That seems to be the message.
Josh, have you got any views on this?
it just reminds me of that last speech he did when he was like, "Go to work, don't go to work, go to work if you can stay from home." Like, it's exactly the same thing all over again. So he's given Matt Lucas a new sketch for when he returns to base next year. So he'll be happy.
And Katie, you're very big on education, so
I should have had a bit more. I just I like the way that Boris is tackling COVID lockdown rules in the same way that I generally tackle a diet. In that, if I say the diet starts tomorrow, it probably fucking doesn't. And if Boris says the schools aren't going to be shut and we're not going to go into lockdown and everything else that's good is going to happen, the chances are it's probably not, or it is, or whatever you don't want. Because every time he promises something, it normally happens about a week later. It's like, this will not happen. We are not going to stop you having Christmas. But now we've stopped you having Christmas.
It's funny you should mention diet, because Boris' whole approach to COVID is like my approach to dieting. I should diet tomorrow morning, but in truth, I should have dieted 6 months ago. In fact, if I was telling the full truth, I should have dieted probably about 16 years ago.
Yes. It just, he doesn't know. Like somebody, he's very similar to Donald Trump in that somebody clever has told him something complicated, and then he's filtered that through his scraghead and gone, COVID is not very nice. We will catch it, but hopefully, if we all pull together, but not too close, but pull together, everything will be fine. We can all go to school, but then probably we shouldn't go to school. What's that? No, schools are bad, actually. No, we won't go to school.
Let's move on to our next story, which, I hate to say this, but everything in the news seems to be COVID related. So this is the next story I've got lined up. Right, it's to do with the vaccination. And I've had some people tell me sometimes it's a bit like last week. We had a turkey in a picture and Donald Trump was in the same picture. It was actually difficult to tell who the turkey was. Right, on this one we're going to play Where's the Prick? Okay, are you all ready for a game of Where's the Prick? Does anyone want to nominate where the prick is? If you're not going to nominate, I'll just run the graphic. Let's find out where the prick is.
Oh, no.
It's there. Controversial.
Oh.
So anyway, this is the supply. Yeah, they're supplying vaccines. So something fantastic happened yesterday, and it was one of those where I had to include it in the show. I don't know if any of you are aware of this, but yesterday morning, Matt Hancock said doses were being supplied to GP practices across the country, and he visited a surgery in Bloomsbury to give this talk. However, when he got to the surgery, he found out that surgery hadn't been supplied. So he went to the surgery to talk about how good the supply of these vaccines were, to find out they hadn't arrived.
That would make the best new episode of The Thick of It, wouldn't it? Like, absolutely brilliant. Can imagine the carnage in the car on the way back. It's similar to the whole Trump's lawyer booking out the Four Seasons and ended up in the gallery. Yeah, it's similar to that.
Yeah, so one of the issues
surprised
with
they didn't just pretend and get some glucose or something. Just give them anything at all.
Find the local
What can we find? Heroin. You must have some heroin somewhere.
Everybody walk out quite relaxed. Oh, it wiped me out, that vaccination did.
I feel like I've got the flu.
I read this story the other day about how GPs were saying that when they were ringing up some of the elderly people, that they were rejecting the Pfizer vaccine because they were waiting for the English one. And I was just like, Jesus
Christ, what a time to be racist.
Getting racist with vaccines.
Oh, no, I don't want none of that foreign muck. I'll wait for the less effective food.
The one that's 25% less going to kill me.
But if I'm going to die, I'm going to die at British hands.
We've had a story suggestion from one of our audience. Elon Musk is now the richest person in the world. Poor Jeff Bezos.
Oh, well. They're like pretend money now, though, aren't they? At the point where they are, their money means nothing, because what's the point? What is the point of life if you can afford everything?
Yeah, and it also gets to the point where, like, none of them are cashing out and physically have the money, do they? Like, it'd be a lot more interesting if he actually did have, like, $100 billion and go full on Doctor Evil.
If he was like Scrooge McDuck and he was actually swimming through the money.
Yeah. Like that's what I think the genuine parameter should be: physical cash ownership that you can spend, not like the value of your company. Because I want to see people doing mad shit. I don't want to see this.
The problem is banks only have that. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, how much is Elon Musk worth now then? Do we know? Is it like trillions or something? Is he the first zillionaire?
$1 gazillion.
Yeah, he don't play the Euro Millions because that's just small change.
Yeah, exactly.
He just drops millions out his pocket and doesn't even notice. When I drop, when you open your purse and a pound fall, well, you wouldn't know because you don't have a purse, but when your pound falls out and you're like, fuck, it was a fat one. It's like you're scrabbling around because it could be a penny or it could be a pound. I don't know what's just happened. My cat's just gone mental. I think I made him jump.
So I thought someone was throwing pounds at your purse.
There's no pounds in my purse. They're all on my arse.
So anyway, anyone else think that Elon Musk sounds like a cheap 70s aftershave?
Yeah, definitely.
Always.
For the smell of a millionaire.
The brute.
Jeff Bezos. Bezos sounds like some sort of like kids fad from the 90s. Oh, have you got any Bezos? Can I collect some Bezos?
Sounds more like a character on Sesame Street.
Bezos. One of what do you? My words. I can't words. I forgot words. Don't know. Carry on.
Down.
Carry on. Right, let's go back to a story which I've lined up. Okay, this is a story about President Trump.
No, never. He's not
It
been in
is.
the news, has he?
He has. He has got himself. Oh, I've realised I've still got Ishii showing on the screen. He has got himself banned on both Facebook and Twitter.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
He's back on Twitter now, though, isn't he? It was a 12-hour ban, so I think he's back.
Yeah.
already.
Facebook was
amazing
indefinitely
thing-
though, wasn't it?
Hey, Twitter man, then.
The most amazing thing is that he hasn't had his accounts taken off in full, before.
Yeah.
Well, no, but I only really go on Twitter to see what shit he's talking. I don't. So, and I think a lot of people say they couldn't ban him for any longer than 12 hours because they'd lose people bothering to go on. I honestly, it's just he is the only reason, and I can't get enough of the shit show that is Donald Trump's meltdown. He is just mental. He is going to be swinging in the White House because he's not. He's just lost it, hasn't he? He's just the man that you thought could not lose it anymore, and he keeps on going. It's like, what else is there to lose?
He'll be on The Apprentice of the Year.
The thing is, I think if I'd have been in America, I'd have been protesting too. I'd have wanted Trump to carry on as president, and I'd have done anything to make him carry on as president. Because I've never known one man provide so much material for me.
He is the gift that keeps on giving, isn't he? Yeah.
It wasn't fucking Twitter though. Like Twitter had been wise in giving it him back because he'd only end up on TikTok. Like he'd end up on like the newest platform, wouldn't he? Getting down with the kids. Yeah, he'll be on Instagram selling protein shakes and
singing the virtues of the Domestos drinks.
yeah, he'll be on all those influencer deals, wouldn't he? So Twitter have got it right on that one.
So someone pointed out today, though, that it was slightly scary that the man who's got his finger on the nuclear button is in charge of the nuclear codes isn't actually allowed his own Twitter account.
Yeah, and Giorgio's pointed out that he's also banned off Instagram.
Well, Instagram and Facebook are the same thing, really, aren't they? They're owned by Facebook.
Yeah. No, I mean,
does anyone know?
the thing is,
does he do like, because obviously in that Russian hotel thing with those that scandal previously, is he a fan of live streaming? Do we know?
I'm gonna say it gives credence to those rumours more, doesn't it? Because they went full on Russia, just sack off democracy. Yeah, or go full on vote. Like, yeah.
Okay, if Trump was going to drive a vehicle while streaming live on YouTube, what vehicle would he drive?
A tank.
Yeah, it'd be a massive Humvee, wouldn't it?
It'd be something, and he wouldn't be able to drive it. So
I actually think it'd be Air Force One.
Not with his tiny little hands.
He's got the smallest hands and the smallest mouth. His mouth doesn't even open properly, and then he's got this big round head.
It's a cat's arse of a mouth, isn't it?
Cat's arse mouth. I was just going to say, yeah. But it just doesn't open wide enough. It's like there isn't enough lube in the world to slide anything in there.
So
he's an angry
anyway,
man.
Come on, he's the president of the United States. I think we should be showing him some more respect.
Okay, let's show him some respect and move on to our next round.
Is it another Trump round? Oh, my cat's being a dick.
No, it's no, it's not called My Cat's Being a Dick.
You'll see him in a minute.
Okay, but here's the next round.
I predict a riot!
I'm going to ask each of our guests to provide a prediction of what's going to happen in 2021. So it can be someone dying, it can be an event happening, it can be an event not happening, it can be whatever you want it to be, but prediction, and we'll add it to the Blue Suede News prediction list. So who wants to go first? Shall we go to Tony first?
Oh God, I'm glad you've come to me first because I've completely forgotten about this round. So, off the top of my head, I reckon there's going to be a scandal with a politician involving strawberry jelly.
So it's an American politician then.
No, it's going to be a
All right.
No jelly, not jam.
All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, strawberry jelly and let's go. I'm going to be specific. It's going to involve Michael Gove, a pair of Wellingtons, and strawberry jelly. There'll be some sort of kinky sex act, and he'll be forced out of Parliament.
You're onto something there, mate.
Have you already started this in motion? Is this why you're...
Yeah, I've got the wellies already. I just need to get the jam.
Got the wellies, I'm on the jelly.
Bought jelly.
Very good. Very good. I can actually see that one happening. It's a bit too close
We
to
all
what
can.
could happen.
Because Tony's off to do it tonight.
In fact, when it happens, it'll probably be either my one of my faking it round stories, or he'll be the press of the week. Let's move on to Katie. Do you want to make a prediction, Katie?
I've already predicted so much for this year. I'm like Mystic Meg. I think alien invasion.
Alien invasion.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. And let's go to Josh Reynolds.
I'm not going to be very popular on this one. I'm hedging my bets, and I'm going for something that I think could actually happen, which is the Queen's death. So we're going.
No, but we've already had that predicted, Josh.
Oh, you're joking.
And
I'm
Prince
not.
Philip. You can't have Prince Philip either. I've had both of them.
What for this year?
Oh, Katie's
Yeah.
had him, so I can't have him. God's sake. Right. Well.
How about
Who else is old in the royal family?
Someone.
Hmm?
The Queen kills someone else.
Oh, okay. Well, have we got Prince Andrew's suicide?
I'm pretty sure I said that one as well.
Oh, you're joking. No. Come on, let me win.
No,
Yeah.
we haven't. I haven't got Prince Andrew on my list because you're only meant to predict one. So you may have predicted it, but it didn't go on the list because you'd already predicted Prince Philip.
I've been on that many times. You can have Prince Andrew then, Josh.
Have we
Yeah,
has this show predicted the entire death of every royal?
Well,
Yes, basically, yeah. So it's got to be right on one of them, isn't it?
I think Prince Philip's already dead. He's not been seen in public for such a long time. He mustn't be alive anymore.
I'm surprised they haven't done a royal version of Cluedo.
What, with Diana?
Yeah, because, I mean, you know the original version of Cluedo had that tunnel between the kitchen and the study.
Yeah.
And this one's France.
Yeah, they did it with a poison in the vestry.
Yes. He's just not been around for a long time. I'm sure something's not right. Someone needs to check on him.
Yeah.
Well, that's 3 very good predictions there. Let's just have a look at the comments before I move on to the last round of the show. So we're apparently Lord Sparkle said Trump would drive a golf cart.
But it would be armed to fuck.
Yeah, an armoured golf cart.
Yeah. Brian seems to think it's a Dacia Logan. He's not stopped being president yet. Ishi says anything with a cockpit.
Mount Cockpit or
Brian says a repeat of 2020 without Cummings. Oh, and this is a controversial one from Brian. Goths being able to celebrate Halloween.
Were they not allowed to?
Well, they were allowed to. I mean, Goths like to spend time alone anyway, so lockdown suits them.
I'm not a goth and it really suits me. And the hugging that you don't have to do anymore, it's amazing. No one wants to hug you now and it's the best fucking thing ever.
next
You like a good hug then, do you, Katie?
Oh, no, because people that do hug always say, oh, it's all right, you'll get used to it. We're huggers in this family. And I'm like, no, you can get used to giving me my fucking space. But just no. So I'm really loving it.
Josh, Tony, are you joining me on a virtual hug with Katie?
Oh, yeah.
That's quite...
There you go. There you go, Katie. It's all right.
That's quite imposing, that is.
You need a
arms.
and loads of eyeliner now. That's all you need. Go full golf.
Right. This is the first time on this show I'm using a new round. Right.
We haven't
This was
talked that shit, guys.
this was never put in as a round before, but it's in every show. So I thought I'd make it a round. Do you want to see the new logo?
Oh,
Of course.
yeah.
Put a plug in it.
It's the part of the show where you get to plug whatever it is you want to plug. So let's go to Josh first.
Yeah, I mean, normally I've got nothing to plug because there's no shows at the moment. But I'm actually starting a new project, so I'm going to be doing my first radio show as of next week. So it's only music. It's not particularly a comedy-based show. It is purely play music, press buttons, speak every now and again. But it is good practice. It's something to start up. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. It's a new station called The Bands. And yeah.
That's awesome.
That sounds good.
How can
Who'd
we
like to
find
go
it?
next?
Thebands.co.uk.
Awesome. That's easy
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. So, Katie, would you like to plug anything?
Well, I'm on with George Coppen tomorrow night for Fun Night, so I thought I'll get that in there now. And also, I have just started up my own little business, not comedy related, but it's sewing shit. And depending on when you watch this, because right now it's work in progress, but when you might be watching back in like a year's time when I've actually pulled my finger out and sorted my website out, but you can find me on gingerwalrus.co.uk.
So, and your first job is giving away 70 items for free.
Yeah, it's a marketing strategy that went wrong.
Yeah. George has said it's 10 out of 10 for the announcer of the link between, to this round.
Yes,
right?
he did a
So
good job there.
you may have recognised the voice as the voice of George Copen. So Ishi has said, "Well done, Josh." So it's great that you've got your own radio show. And George says, "Hope it goes well, Josh."
Sweet, thank you.
And Georgia says, "Thank you, Katie."
Welcome, George.
So, anyway, let's go to Tony next. Have you got anything you'd like to plug, Tony?
So, yeah, basically, if anyone out there wants to see me live, they just need to come down to Amazon, the distribution centre in Colville tomorrow, where they can watch me do the morning shift, if you want to see me live at the moment. So,
yeah, if you want to keep Tony busy, order products before tomorrow.
Come on, sharpen me up whilst I'm doing my warehouse job. You can heckle me. I'll see if I can do some put downs for you. Also, genuinely true. Because comedy is not paying the bills at the moment. If anyone wants to check out what I've got up for sale on eBay, that'd be good. eBay is Tractor Boy 78. Tractor Boy with the boy spelt BUOY. Tractor Boy 78. Look, there's some great deals on there. I've got some great stuff up on eBay. So look me up on there, buy some stuff. But genuinely, if people want to look me up on Twitter at Tony Cowards, I'll be putting jokes and stuff that I normally put up on there. And hopefully, fingers crossed. I got a booking for a gig the other day. I did get a booking for an actual gig, which is in November, so it might actually happen.
Fantastic!
We might actually be out the other side by then.
We'll have to look out for that. So fingers crossed for you. So you may have noticed there's a banner going across the bottom of the screen. This is where I get ultimately optimistic. I've actually signed up to buy me a coffee. Okay, a bit similar to PayPal, apart from it's a bit more set up for shows like this. And it's www.buymeacoffee.com/RBSN, which is Rogers Blue Suede News. So you just need to find RBSN at Buy Me a Coffee, and you can make a small donation to the show, which if I get any during the week, I will, of course, split those equally between my guests. I've never had a donation yet. But the one thing you can actually do on the Buy Me a Coffee is become a member of the Blue Suede News fan club. Ooh. Sign up for membership, and one thing you'll get from me each month is a members newsletter, and I've got some other plans for some membership rewards. If
I'm
I
gonna-
get members.
What do you have to pay to be a member?
You do have, yeah, it's either £3 a month or £30 for the year.
Is that it?
Yeah,
That's a bargain, that is.
Bargain.
You should
absolute
do it.
bargain.
Everyone should go out and do that. £3. Boss.
You need
So
to come
it's-
up with a nickname for the members, though. What are they going to be called? Are they Blue Sueders? Or
Yeah, why not?
Blue
Or
Sueders?
Suedettes.
Suedettes.
I'll have to come up with a logo for them if I give them a name. Well, that could be one of the first perks. You know, the members could actually nominate what they're called.
Oh, well, that's worth £30 right there.
Definitely. Anyway, so there's
Sales pitch for you, Rod.
there's the link on the screen. If you missed it, by all means, watch it on catch up, and it'll be reappearing. I would like to take this opportunity to thank Katie Brown, Tony Cowards, and Josh Reynolds. Thank you for coming on my show and being guests again. I hope you've enjoyed your time on the show tonight, and I would love to see you again in the future. So watch out for my begging emails, and it's so nice when you do say yes. And I hope you've all enjoyed the show. And that's it for the show for this week. We've got to the end of the show. Thank you to all the viewers for watching. It's been lovely they've been watching. If you're watching on catch up, why not join us live on a Friday night where you can interact with the show? And if you want to become a member, go to Buy Me a Coffee. RBSN.
Bargain.
Yeah.
And
£30.
it's just our last chance. Just say bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.